Show labor rights. Why Southeast St. Andrew? Area Council, one family in many ways. This is a homecoming. But look like Labour Right River come down bank to bank for Kevin Fritt. It look like MP in waiting, Kevin Fritt. Allow me to acknowledge your deputy leader, my forever deputy leader, Minister of Local Government, Member of Parliament for West Kingston, the Honourable Desmond Mackenzie. And whereas Minister Mackenzie will take you through history lessons, he leaves out many of the details because Desmond Mackenzie don't afraid to give young people a chance to represent the people of Jamaica. But Mas Kevin, I don't want you surprised when you get certain phone calls. Because as he said, he believes in service, he believes in quality of delivery. So if you're slipping, Minister Mackenzie is going to call you. Don't be disheartened, it is encouragement. Allow me to acknowledge friends and family on the platform, officers of Area Council 1, members of the Secretariat. I saw Deputy General Secretary Delroy Williams, the great feather here earlier. Members of Parliament, senators, councillors, MP caretakers, councillor caretakers, Labour rights all, it is a joy to be here with you this evening. Why? Because Southeast St. Andrew is really looking good. It is really looking like you are ready for that change. It is looking like you are ready to embrace Kevin Frith. It is looking like you have said it is our time to take the JLP in Southeast. And it is obvious that so because we say shower, because of the history of the Jamaica Labour Party. It is obvious that because of the leadership of Andrew Michael Holness and because the JLP is active and strong, you're saying it is indeed Kevin Fritt time to go forward. Time for the JLP in Southeast St. Andrew. But Labour rights is Sunday evening and there's a lot to go through. And I don't want to spend too long because the big bad Minister of Finance is also here in the Honourable Favour Williams off of her maiden presentation. But I've listened to the responses to her phenomenal presentation. And I can tell you, the opposition is as bankrupt of ideas as they left the NWC bankrupt in 2015. I listened and I heard this concept of the 4 C's. And I said to my colleague and friend, Senator Fitzhenley, that not sound familiar to you. Where that coming from? And we rack our brain and we say, but there's a gentleman who we all know as leader of the opposition, as Andrew Michael Holness in 2012 rolled out the plan that he's using under the 5 E's, and this man come with 4 E's now. In 2012, Andrew Michael Holness told you he would fix Jamaica by focusing on education, focusing on fixing the economy, focus on bringing down energy prices, focus on efficiency, and focus on protecting the environment. This man say him no business with the environment, him just leave out that part and take everything else. You know, sister, them come in like some old pirate. You know, sister, them come in like old pirate. Now, if that was bad enough, nothing no wrong. If you're in government or you're in opposition, acknowledge when something is good. Nothing is wrong with saying that idea is working, that idea is helping people, but I would have do it like this or I would have tried something different. But they refuse to admit that this government is not just active and strong, but is a caring government. When we announced in November at the JLP conference, when the Prime Minister stood up and said it was time to make sure that people felt that care, that they felt that love. And we were very concerned about our pensioners, about our and were cut off from the National Water Commission system. And he said, it is time we give you an amnesty. We're going to write off those bills for you. We're going to take the burden of that debt off of the backs of our pensioners, off of the backs of the poorest in society. The PNP cuss it. They say it wasn't well thought out. Them say nothing can work like that. I am happy to report, Deputy Leader, Minister of Finance, that as of Friday gone, the Water Commission has removed $600 million off of the backs of poor people, off of the backs of our pensioners, and they have already reconnected just under 3,000 Jamaicans who were suffering. But I go further. 22,000 Jamaicans have already made contact with the NWC. Of that 22,000, I am happy to report that 2,800 of them have already been reconnected. I am happy to report, and I'm giving you the exact numbers, that 3,200 are approved for connection, approved to get the write-off, just need to sign. They'll be connected in the coming week. The benefit. And because we're working through the benefits, because we're making sure that poor people get the help they need, because we're taking care of our pensioners, the Prime Minister instructed on Friday that we should extend the amnesty to help Jamaicans. There are more details to come, labor rights, but that is for Thursday. So I encourage you to remember and to tell all labor rights and all Jamaicans to tune in to the budget speech. But just know that as of tonight, is $600 million of debt that poor people and pensioners did have to NWC that we write off, that Andrew Michael Holness write off to take care of pensioners with water. Now, I hear them now say that they're going to introduce flat rate for pensioners. That is a knee-jerk reaction to the fact that we have already helped pensioners with them water rate with what we're doing here. But as the Prime Minister said, any idea to help Jamaican people is something we're going to listen to. But let me tell you the problems with this particular suggestion. It is not well thought out. Your bill, your water account is tied to your address. Very few people, when they rent a house, change the name on that account. So this suggestion will set up a level of fraud that would bankrupt the NWC if it was to go through. It would also not encourage conservation, as we know every drop counts. So this is one of those gimmicks that the PNP come with. This is one of those things that we know they did in the past when they bankrupt the NWC. We're not going to allow them to bankrupt the NWC again. We're not going to allow them to bankrupt Jamaica again. Never again should they have control of the water sector in this country. But labor rights, I said to you, yes, we've removed the debts for pensioners who were suffering because of NWC leaks. But that is not the last thing we are going to do for our pensioners' labor rights. I assure you that on Thursday, we're going to roll out a suite of measures that deal with the cost of living crisis, that ensure that pensioners can afford water, that ensure that those on path can afford water. But there's a better way to do it than a fixed rate labor rights. But I am not going to make that announcement this evening. But I assure you, we're not going to allow them to bankrupt NWC. But we are also not going to leave our pensioners suffering and struggling in Jamaica, because this government cares. This government takes its responsibility very seriously. Minister Mackenzie told you about the Yallas pipeline. Many people hear the name Rural Water Supply Limited. That company was founded as the engineering solution to put in place the Yallas pipeline to fix the water problems of Kingston. In 2016, we were called upon once again to fix the water problems of Kingston and St. Andrew. When we came to government, 72% of the water that was caught, stored, processed would go into the pipes and leak. That's what you call NRW. The whole of the pipe them did a leak. The pipe did rotten down under the PNP for 40 years of disinvestment. We have cut those leaks in Kingston and St. Andrew to 37% down from 72% labor rights. In 2015, you needed 55 million gallons of water a day for Kingston and St. Andrew. Mr. Fritz, you know how much house bill in Kingston and St. Andrew since 2016. You see how much high-rise bill because prosperity has come to Jamaica. You see how much hotel bill. And even with all that construction, with all the building in Kingston and St. Andrew, you only need 37 million gallons a day now because we have cut the leaks in Kingston and St. Andrew and we're fixing the water commission. But we're not finished. We're not finished, labor rights. Last year, we broke ground on the Rio Cobre water treatment plant. This plant, just like what Edward Siaga did with Yalas, will ensure that 15.5 million gallons of water comes into the corporate area every single day when complete, and it will be done in 20 months, labor rights. It is a $92 million project. So we are fixing the water for the parish of Portmore and we're fixing the water for the parishes of Kingston and St. Andrew. Now 15 million gallons of water sound like a lot. But let me tell you what it is and what it means for you. You remember the drought of 2022? The driest ever Kingston and St. Andrew has ever been. The worst drought in our history in 2022. Minister Mackenzie, you'll remember when we were trucking, there were even fights. We had to ask the police to help us to protect the truckers to make sure that people could get their water. In drought, the worst we've ever had, Kingston and St. Andrew was short 12 million gallons a day in the worst drought. This water treatment plant is going to give you for 50 years 15 million gallons a day. It means when we finish, Kingston and St. Andrew not going to know nothing about drought again. Because the Labour Party is building resilience. It is active and strong, and it is investing in your present and your children's future. But Labour rights, we don't have no illusion that there are still challenges in Kingston and St. Andrew. Minister Williams spoke about how easy it was to approve the $10.1 billion that she given to the NWC this year. And I can tell you, as residents of Kingston and St. Andrew, you're getting your fair share. Anybody here from West Rural St. Andrew know the water challenges from Cooper's Hill come straight down to Western and to Northwest St. Andrew. In April, this is March 16th, in 2 weeks, when the first warrant comes over from the Ministry of Finance, we are going to break ground on the ferry to Rock Pond line and spend 1.2 billion Jamaican dollars and correct once and for all the water problems in Red Hills. That project will take 15 months, but we're breaking ground in April. It is under contract, the procurement done. It come to Infrastructure Committee and Cabinet already. Once the money come over in April, we're starting the work. Labour rights, it is not lost on me that residents of East Rural have some particular water challenges. And your MP, Speaker of the House, Mrs. Holness, can tell you we're on the phone up to this morning looking at solutions. So whether it is in Mavis Bank or Garden Town, whether you are in Constitution Hill or you have a lot of leaks in Harbourview, I assure you, listen to the speech on Thursday. There are good things coming for the citizens of East Rural St. Andrew with water. Now, those listening in places like Northeast St. Ann, Minister Mackenzie, wouldn't understand that you have sections of the corporate area that because the PNP didn't invest for 40 years when they had control of the country, certainly at their knock when they had their 22-year span, you have sections of the corporate area that have very high NRW. Areas of West Kingston not getting the right water flow. The Prime Minister said that can't continue. We had a very detailed conversation, Minister Mackenzie. Of that $10.1 billion being allocated by Minister Williams, $1.4 billion, Minister Mackenzie, is being allocated to the sewage to fix the sewage situation in Kingston and St. Andrew. That is not the total fix, but what we can afford this year. Minister Mackenzie, I got the engineering assessment for Denham Town. We got the engineering assessment for Tivoli. I apologize, it was worse than I thought. Residents of West Kingston, I give you my word this evening that the Water Commission has been instructed to move to procurement as late, well rather they were instructed on Thursday by the Most Honorable Prime Minister. You're going to have pipe work starting as early as next month because we know the issues with the leaks. We know that people living in Golden Heights having challenges. And we say to the residents of West Kingston, enough is enough, but we're going to spend the money this year. I am not going to go into every single water project that is for the Prime Minister on Thursday. But I say to your labor rights, be proud of the investment being made in water. Be proud that cares. It is your Prime Minister that is active, ensuring that right across the length, and as said in the strongest possible terms, we're going to invest to give Jamaican people their Vision 2030 to make sure every Jamaican have potable water by 2030. We have 13 projects under contract for $7.2 billion, Minister Williams. Send the money come early in April because we are ready to make sure we fulfill those promises. We are ready to show them that why, labor rights, we are ready to show them that this government chose to fix the end of the sea. This government and all of its ministers, MPs, council, Jamaica, this government has worked and has earned a third term. We have always said we will always choose Jamaica. We are asking the people of Jamaica to look at our record, look at our plans. We have chosen Jamaica. Whenever that time comes, send them home. Tell them time done. Tell them we have chosen the Jamaica Labour Party. We have chosen Andrew Michael Holness. Show our labor rights. Show our labor rights. Bless up area council one.